Recently, I had blood drawn as part of my routine annual physical exam. My physician responded with a note on my health portal informing me that all results are normal. But his reply left me short. I wondered, how normal was my normal? How wide is the normal range? I decided to use ChatGPT to review my blood test results to see if it could help me better understand my lab results. Could ChatGPT translate my personal medical data into plain language to give me a more complete picture of my lab results? I provided ChatGPT with my lab values and asked for general impressions. Since I'm fortunate to have no medical issues, I have no reservation in showing my results as a real example of an effective personal use of ChatGPT. Here's what I found. Give me general impressions of my recent lipid panel. The result values are cholesterol, 175 milligrams per deciliter, triglycerides, 29 milligrams per deciliter, HDL, 68 milligrams per deciliter, calculated LDL, 102 milligrams per deciliter, and cardiac risk ratio, 2.6.
Here is a clear, clinically grounded interpretation of your lipid panel. Arvind had a sure overall impression. Your lipid profile is very favorable and reflects low cardiovascular risk. With the exception of LDL being slightly above the optimal range, every marker is in an excellent or protective category. Individual markers. Total cholesterol, 175 milligrams per deciliter, target 200. This is in the desirable range. It reflects a healthy balance of cholesterol in circulation. Triglycerides, 29 milligrams per deciliter. Target 150. This is exceptionally low and highly protective. Low triglycerides are associated with low insulin resistance, low inflammatory burden, lower risk of heart disease. Values this low are commonly seen in people who limit refined carbohydrates and sugar, are physically active, have good metabolic health. Have HDL, good cholesterol, 68 milligrams per target, 60, protective. This is excellent. HDL helps remove cholesterol from arteries and return it to the liver for disposal. Levels above 60 are associated with lower heart attack and stroke risk. LDL, bad cholesterol, 102 milligrams per deciliter. Targets, 100 equals optimal, 100 to 129 equals near optimal. Your LDL is near optimal and only slightly above the ideal threshold. In the context of very low triglycerides, high HDL, low cardiac risk ratio, this LDL level is not clinically concerning. Cardiac risk ratio 2.6, total cholesterol HDL, targets 3.5 equals low risk, 3.0 equals very low risk. A ratio of 2.6 places you in the very low risk category. This is one of the strongest predictors of cardiovascular outcomes, and yours is excellent. What this pattern means: your numbers show a classic cardioprotective lipid pattern. High HDL, very low triglycerides, low cholesterol ratio, near optimal LDL. This profile is associated with low plaque formation, low arterial inflammation, lower risk of heart attack and stroke. In practical terms, your blood lipids suggest clean, stable arteries and good metabolic health. Bottom line, your lipid panel indicates low cardiovascular risk, excellent metabolic status, no current red flags. Unless you have other major risk factors, smoking, diabetes, strong family history, known heart disease, there is no indication for medication based on these numbers alone. If you maintain your current lifestyle, these numbers are likely to remain protective for many years.
I have a better understanding of my lipid panel test now, but I'm wondering about the timing of this blood work. It was completed a few days after returning from a fantastic 17-day cruise. I have another question for ChatGPT. Here's the question. My LDL was 102 on my lab work that was completed a few days after returning from a cruise. Was it possible for my vacation diet to have influenced the LDL level?
Yes, very much so. The timing of your test makes this especially relevant. An LDL of 102 obtained a few days after a cruise is very likely influenced by short-term dietary and metabolic effects, rather than representing your true baseline. Why LDL is highly diet sensitive in the short term. LDL cholesterol is not a static number. It responds to recent intake and liver activity over the prior 3 to 10 days. During a cruise, most people experience increased saturated fat intake, butter, cream, cheese, red meat, desserts, higher calorie intake, more alcohol, more sodium, less physical activity. These changes cause the liver to package more cholesterol into LDL particles, release more LDL into circulation. This can raise LDL by 10 to 30 milligrams per deciliter, temporarily even in metabolically healthy people. Your other numbers prove this was a transient effect. Your lab pattern shows triglycerides equal 29, extremely low, HDL equals 68, very high, cholesterol ratio 2.6, very low risk. Those numbers do not match a person with chronically elevated LDL. They reflect excellent insulin sensitivity, low inflammation, efficient fat metabolism. This strongly suggests your real LDL is likely below 100, possibly in the 80s or 90s, under normal eating conditions. What typically happens after returning to normal eating within 2 to 3 weeks of resuming your usual diet and activity? Liver LDL production falls, LDL receptors upregulate, blood LDL drops back to baseline. If you repeated the test after 3 to 4 weeks of normal routine, it would almost certainly be lower than 102. Bottom line, your LDL of 102 is almost certainly, open quote, a short-term dietary artifact from cruise eating and set close quote. It does not override the strong protective signal coming from your triglycerides, HDL, cholesterol ratio, metabolic panel. Clinically, your lipid pattern remains low risk and cardioprotective.
To my friends and family, and to anyone who stumbled upon this video, I encourage you to use AI to provide you with new tools to help you better understand your health so that you can ask better questions and make informed lifestyle choices. Cheers to all.